Are you ready for the imminent ET invasion and imminent ET domination? OMG. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Not that it matters because we're facing an imminent ET invasion and domination, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you something that's making a big difference in my life as we talk about our sponsor for our first segment. My good friend Glenn Streeter shared this with me, put me onto this, and it is having amazing results in my life. And I really do want to share it with you because it is powerful stuff. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share this with you. It is the Pulsed Harmonics True Pulse A2000 machine, reducing inflammation, increasing circulation and oxygenation, promoting faster healing, relieve pain, improve mobility, cellular level impact. It works down to the cells. This is the machine. I tweaked my groin very badly at a hockey game on Saturday night, believe it or not. I know it's kind of silly. But, ladies and gentlemen, I did, coming up the stairs, carrying some drinks. And I've had this on for an hour yesterday. You can only do it an hour each day. I already feel like I'm healed, but I will continue it on today. So if you have any questions about the perf machines, they're amazing. Go to Glenn Streeter's, just give Glenn a call, or you can go to his website, energymedfit.com. You can see his logo up there in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and check Glenn out, and he will give you all the information on the amazing perf machines. They are really, really fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing to help you get yourself into the place where you can be physically optimized, which will lead, I found, much more quickly to complete spiritual optimization as well. And today we're asking, is it aliens? Folks, let's go ahead and jump right into our subject matter. And I'm not here to make anybody mad. I'm not here to make anybody angry, but we do go places where no one else has gone before. We fly into areas where, people don't want to go because they make everybody angry, but that's kind of our normal flight path. So we don't really worry about it. We bring out the information. We bring out what I think needs to be brought out. And let's say it, we say things that nobody else will say. And it looks like, if you're paying attention to much of social media or even to our genre, what you're finding out is that it's an imminent ET invasion, imminent ET domination. It looks like all we can do is get ready. Now, we're really, if you look at it and if you listen much, it's just a matter of time. If you listen at all to the conspiratorium or just about anybody on YouTube these days, including to an ever increasing degree, the mainstream media, that goes under things that make you say, the mainstream media says that this thing may be happening. Well, if you do listen, you're convinced that a malevolent ET invasion is imminent at any moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a matter of time before the ETs come and get us. And where is Tom Cruise when you need him? I don't care what the question is these days on YouTube. The answer is, it's aliens. We're inundated with proof, so-called, via grainy, blurry photos, videos, and anecdotal witness accounts. Now, I'm not saying everybody, so hear me carefully and hear me clearly. I'm not saying everybody, but it has to be stated that a lot of the people that are telling alien stories, a lot of the people that are telling places of recurring alien visitation are for-profit sources. They're running ranches, they're running conferences, and it has to be said in the interest of objective, empirical, complete disclosure. So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I like to start from a perspective of, what am I sure of? What am I sure of? What do we know for sure when we're trying to figure things out? What do we know for sure? Well, for sure we know that there are aerial sightings. That cannot be disputed. We know that people are seeing things in the skies, and we know that some of these things defy conventional, even though I misspelled that, explanation. We also know, well, we don't really know, but we don't think everybody's lying, that there are many reports of people seeing threatening beings showing up in their properties. Are some of them faked? Undoubtedly. Are some of them just bad Photoshops, dummies? Yes, they are. And I don't mean they're dummies. I mean they're using dummies. So maybe that's redundant. I don't know. And we also know that there are some very sincere people that believe that they are undergoing abduction events, i.e. being physically removed from their surroundings. So, Jeff, how do you explain the aerial sightings if it's not ETs? How do you explain the threatening beings if they're not ETs? How do you explain the abduction events if they're not ETs? What do we know for sure? Well, the one thing we know for sure is that the unquestioned default conclusion is it's aliens. It's aliens. See something in the sky, it's aliens. See something in your property, it's aliens. Get abducted by something, it's aliens. Get butt probed, it's aliens. Why is that the unquestioned? Why is that the default conclusion that it's aliens? And we'll talk about that at the end of the presentation. Why the fact that it's aliens, quote unquote, is the default conclusion. And I think by then we'll be willing and able to see it better. So what do we know? Well, one thing we know is that there's a lot of people getting mad at Jeff right now. I'm intentionally not looking at the comments because I know I'm getting a lot of people yelling at me, and Jeff, you're mean, and Jeff, you're this, and Jeff, you're that, and Jeff, everybody knows it's aliens, Jeff. Everybody knows it's ETs, Jeff. Well, that's exactly what bothers me. Because what I found out, I'll be 57 years old in a couple of months. Can you believe that? Well, it's a few months, but I'll be 57 years old very quickly. And I've been doing this study for 40 years, almost 40. You know, when I get to my 57th birthday, I'll be able to say 40 years. And one thing that I have come to know is that when everybody knows something's right, I know something's fishy. When everybody knows that A plus B equals D, I start saying, there's something to see. Especially, folks, like today, after 2020, even the mainstream media knows now, which is exactly my point. Everybody knows it's aliens. Everybody says it's aliens. Everybody's seeing aliens. Everybody's running from aliens. It's aliens all the time. Reminds me of being a Pentecostal evangelist. Those people couldn't take responsibility for anything. They saw demons behind every bush. Only now we see aliens behind every bush. And Cynthia's cringing somewhere saying, oh, God, please don't say the rest of that joke. It's from my stand-up act. And I won't. I'll let it go. Cynthia is very, very proud of me right now. So there's some assumptions, ladies and gentlemen, that are being made. And you know what happens when you assume, right? You make an ass out of you. You make an ass out of me. Only not really, because I'm not buying your assumption, so you just make the ass out of you, your damn self. We know what assumptions give us. So let's review for a moment the assumptions that are being made by the vast majority of people within our genre. The assumptions being made are that these beings are aliens. The assumptions being made that these beings are extraterrestrial. The assumptions being made that many of these beings are malevolent. That means they're mean, they're bad, they're harmful. The assumptions being made that they're far more advanced than we are. The assumptions being made that they're very, very powerful. It reminds me of the biblical story when the people couldn't go into the promised land because they thought that they were like grasshoppers in the sight of the big bad people that held the promised land. These are the assumptions. They're aliens, they're extraterrestrials, they're malevolent, they're more advanced than we are, they're more powerful than we are. Most people say they even engineered us to be less than. I say nay. I say BS on that. But what do we know? There's a little thing called Occam's razor. And Occam's razor is a problem-solving principle that states that entities should not be multiplied without necessity. Now, what does that really mean? It means that, generally speaking, the simplest solution is most likely the right one. And that when presented with competing hypotheses like, it's aliens, or maybe it's not aliens, that we should select the solution that requires the fewest assumptions. And may I add that you should reject a conclusion that is nothing but assumptions, but there goes half of YouTube down the drain, ladies and gentlemen. What do we know for sure? There are aerial sightings, there are threatening beings, there are abduction events. So what do we know for sure beyond the conjecture, beyond the assumptions? What do we know regarding aerial sightings? Okay, we know we're seeing things that are in the sky that do defy explanation. And I think some people are seeing things in the sky that defy explanation because they're just not where they need to be. They are not in harmony with their mother. And if you would get involved with the Mystech bracelets like I wear, you wouldn't be seeing things. You wouldn't be hearing things. It's that more depths, more spiritual knowledge. These things put you at the original Schumann resonance, the original frequency of the original Earth, the ideal Schumann resonance. They put your cells in harmony rather than chaos. And folks, we have independent blood tests on the channel that prove that it reduces pathogens, increases blood flow and energy. They really are amazing. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Mystech logo, and you get 20% off when you purchase the Mystech bracelets through jeffreydaugherty.com. And you will never regret doing it. I guarantee it. So we're seeing things in the skies, and the things do defy explanation. I'm not questioning that. I've seen things myself in the skies that defy explanation. But just because we're seeing things in the skies, why would we assume that they're extraterrestrial crafts from across the galaxy? We see it in the sky. Oh, that must be from across the galaxy. Occam's razor says that we don't know what they are, but they're more likely to be from here than from the dark side of Uranus. Why do you assume they're from the backside of Uranus? Why? How do you know they're not from here? It's an assumption to say they're from somewhere else. That's an assumption. Why would we not see them and say, oh, I don't know what that is, but let me think of a better explanation than to just jump to the one that I'm programmed to believe that they're from somewhere else across the galaxy. That, folks, is an assumption. And if we're trying to be rational thinkers, we try to avoid assumptions. Now, Occam's razor says, take a thought that requires the fewest number of assumptions. So instead of saying they're from the dark side of Uranus, they might be unknown commercial craft that is being worked on, that's not being publicized, that we don't know anything about. Boom, there it is. They could be unknown U.S. military craft. They could be unknown military craft from another nation. It could be SpaceX. It could be Branson's Virgin Space, whatever it's called. Why are we assuming that they're from across a galaxy, another planet, why are we assuming that they are extraterrestrial? Why are we assuming that they're aliens? Those are assumptions. We know what assumptions do. Now, what about the threatening beings? We're hearing about threatening beings more and more. Why do we automatically assume they're extraterrestrial? You got a ranch in the middle of somewhere and you get a being that comes down and threatens you, and you automatically assume he's from Alpha Centauri. Why? Couldn't they be military? Couldn't they be paramilitary? Couldn't they be from the United States? Couldn't they be from other countries? Could they not be private paramilitary organizations? And again, I'm telling you, folks, we get these reports. They make great YouTube shows. They make great conferences. They make great books. They make great documentaries. They make great movies. But how many of these threatening being reports are made up for attention, made up for profit? The question has to be asked. And I don't mind asking it, because somebody's got to be the big boy and the big girl and say, hold on a second, that looks like a dummy in that picture, and you must think I'm one. We have to ask the question. We must ask the question. Now, what about abduction scenarios? Why do they have to be extraterrestrial? Why couldn't they be U.S. military? Why couldn't they be paramilitary? Why couldn't they be another nation's military? Why couldn't they be non-military parts of the U.S. government? Why couldn't they be from another nation's government? Why do we assume that they're extraterrestrial? We've got no proof they're extraterrestrial. Why do we assume that they're extraterrestrial? Why do we assume they're from another place? What if it's not extraterrestrials at all? What if it's interterrestrials, ladies and gentlemen? What if it's interterrestrials? I know a lot of you are saying, what in the heck is an interterrestrial? Well, an interterrestrial we'll get right to, but I want you to know that we live in a world where there's beings of a lot of different frequencies, maybe more than likely. And I know that the frequency that you're in can make a real big difference to your life. And I know that you can get high consciousness on demand through focused life force energy. All you have to do is go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the fluffy or focused life force energy logo, and they'll give you 15 days free on your phone, 15 days free on your home, a total of 30 days in a high consciousness environment. Learn what it's like, feel what it's like, understand what it's like. And I'm thinking that you'll want to make it a part of your everyday life. It makes such a difference when you're trying to unindoctrinate yourself. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the fluffy logo, get 30 full days for free, ladies and gentlemen. You can't beat that with a baseball bat. You really can't. Now, what about this idea of interterrestrials? What about this idea of interterrestrials? Jeff, what the heck is an interterrestrial? I never heard of that before. That's because I made it up. Well, that's a lie. Cynthia made it up, but I'm stealing it. What if it's not ETs? What if it's ITs? Interterrestrials. Jeff, what the heck is an interterrestrial? I'm glad you asked. An interterrestrial would be something like this. Our Earth is 70% water. We see an unidentified craft, many of them coming out of water, and we're going to assume that that craft came from outer space when we have barely explored our own oceans. We see a pissed off being on at our ranch, and we're going to assume that he's from outer space, even though we haven't explored our own oceans, what's more likely? Are those beings more likely? What's less of an assumption, that they're from Alpha Centauri, or that they're pissed off beings from our own oceans that we're polluting to an increasing degree? We've explored 5% of our oceans. That's this many. This many for those of you that are still churchgoers. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the fingers on one of your hands, or all the toes on one of your feet. Unless you went, no, I'm not going to say it. That's 5. Only 5%. That leaves 95% of our waters we've never researched. We've never explored. But Giorgio's probably right. It's aliens. Giorgio's probably right. It's aliens. It's aliens. Well, how much of our own underground have we explored? We've never even dug a hole more than a mile deep or so. We haven't really explored our underground. We don't know what's under this earth. But I'm sure Giorgio's right. It's aliens. We haven't looked in our oceans. We haven't looked under our ground. But I'm sure Giorgio's right. It's aliens. And one thing I forgot to put in here, I think. Yeah, I forgot to put this in here. What about all that land that Admiral Byrd saw beyond the Arctic or the Antarctic? How about all that land that Admiral Byrd saw beyond the Antarctic? We haven't looked at that. Now, I know this is a crazy idea, but what if our flat earth friends are at least possibly right and there's more land beyond the land that we know of? Well, that's an assumption. Oh, but it's not an assumption to say that these beings, that these craft, that these abducting beings are coming from another star system, another galaxy? Come on, folks. Until we've researched our oceans, until we've researched our underground, it's time to stop assuming that they come from an extraterrestrial source. Because that is an assumption, and an assumption makes an ass out of you, but not me. No, not me. I won't take that one. I can only be an ass if I listen to you, and I'm not. I'm stopped. I'm done. It's over. I'm la, 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 la. No more. But there's another possibility, ladies and gentlemen. What about beings from our future or from our past? Ooh, what about that? What about beings from our past or our future? What if they're traveling through time trying to save us? What if they're traveling through time trying to steal from us? What if they're traveling through time doing research? Oh, Jeff, that's ridiculous. Giorgio's right. They're from the Pleiades. Really? That makes more sense? Okay. The point is, we don't know. We do not know, ladies and gentlemen. And then, while we're talking about focused life force energy and different frequencies of energy, what if they're interdimensional beings? I don't mean coming from Draco to Earth through a portal. I mean a true interdimensional being. They're from here, but they just normally reside at another frequency. It's like meeting your neighbors from 4 floors up in the condo building you live in. Why are we so quick to assume that they're ETs? And not only that, so quick to get mad at anybody that dares to suggest that they might not be ETs. That's the part that's really funny. We assume that they're extraterrestrials, and we're ready to fight anybody that says they're not extraterrestrials. Well, put your dukes up, because here I am. There is no proof that they are damn aliens. There is no proof that they're damn extraterrestrials. And I don't care how many times you say it. I don't care how many shows you make. I don't care how many conferences you hold. I don't care how many books you write. There's still no proof that they're ETs. None. Zero. Nada. No proof. And it's a huge assumption. And it's hugely arrogant to say that, oh, that's the only way it can be. And if you don't believe they're aliens, then you're stupid. There's a lot of fakery going on, and there's a lot of assuming going on. And both of those are no good, ladies and gentlemen, for scholarship. Neither of those are any good for scholarship. And we've just got to stop faking, and we've just got to start studying. We've got to start opening our minds. And if you want to open your mind, one of the best ways that I found to do it is to get involved with this C60 product. I'm telling you, is it the fountain of youth? It's turning my hair brown. I can read without eyeglasses. Same thing with Cynthia. It's amazing stuff. But the spiritual insight that you get through using C60. But if you've got an empath in your life, be careful before you give him or her C60. Make sure you got your stuff together, or it will be brought together forthwith. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it just makes your spiritual connection, your spiritual reality much, much better, tighter, brighter. It's good stuff. Go to c60purplepower.com. Use the code TCW10. TCW10. You get 10% off. It is an amazing product. There's only 3 people that make it and make it real. Well, Jeff, this is expensive. Well, what's really expensive is paying half for something that don't work. And how much do you spend on pizza and donuts and stuff like that per month? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. C60 Purple Power TCW10. You'll thank me for it. We assume that it's ETs. And we're ready to fight with anybody that says it's not ETs. And I'll get in the chat room in just a second. And I asked myself, why do we assume that it's ETs? This is one of those times where I sit here and I'm thinking, should I say this, ladies and gentlemen, or should I just keep my mouth zipped? Our channel's exploding with new subscribers. And then I go and say something that's going to cause people to be angry. Well, you know what I'm going to do. Why am I even ruminating? I think that the people that automatically think it's ETs do so because we've been programmed with at least 2,000 years of cultural, really enculturation, that there's got to be something out there that's affecting us. Something out there that's going to help us. Something out there that's going to harm us. The 2,000-year-old habit of believing in sky fairies, sky daddy, is the same habit that's got you believing in aliens from the dark side of Uranus, because you're so used to believing in a God out there. You want to believe that the ETs are out there. You don't have any concept of there actually being something here. That's why you think I'm stupid for saying, oh, they might be interterrestrials, because you got no you've never explored your interterritory. You're so used to looking for answers out there that you can't even conceive in your mind that they're in here, and you want to fight with me for suggesting that the aliens aren't from out there, but they're from here, from in here. It's the same thing. It's the Jesus, Daddy, Father, God mind rape that has you always look into the skies for your answers. If it's they're going to come help us, oh, you great aliens, come and help us. Or, oh, those aliens are devils. It's the devil. The devil's coming. The prince of the power of the air. Oh, it's from the air. It's up from above. It's aliens. Here they come. That's the reason for the assumption, because we're so empty inside and we're so used to sky daddy, sky fairy, sky father. We're so used to an out there mentality that we think that we're bankrupt in here. And it's the same thing as the original sin lie. Oh, you know, those two, they ate that apple and now you have sin. You got to have salvation. We got the only savior in town. You know, those aliens, all the ancient texts state that they messed with your DNA and tampered with you, and you're nothing but a digger of tin or gold, and you're broke, you're busted, you're disgusted, and there's no way that you can hope to make it because the aliens have just messed you up. You might as well that's not my fault. The aliens messed me up. It is your fault because you're stupid enough to believe that crap. You don't have original sin. You got the spark of divinity from within. And you were not crafted to be broke, busted, and disgusted by some little green man either. I don't care what Inky said, Enlil said, Yahweh said. I don't care what any of them say. You're not filled with original sin, and your DNA, you weren't crafted, busted. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. You're here to live life and life more abundant and peace that passes all understanding, and they don't want you to do that. If they can't keep you corralled with Sky Fairy, with Big Daddy, with Jeebus, with Father, they're more than happy to keep you from phoning to your real home because of E-freaking-T. And look what's in the middle of every alien, a lie. Now, you can go right on assuming that they're extraterrestrials. That's fine. You can be assuming, and I'm going to be zooming right past you on my path towards ascension and total development of my human potential while you sit around and cry with each other because some alien buggered you in the butt when they were making you, and that's why you can't be any better than you are. Poor you. If you're dumb enough to believe that, then maybe you deserve exactly what you're getting. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody in the chat room save me from myself. Somebody in the chat room save me from myself. Like the Gnostic syncretist, mind-blowing concepts. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I am Monica says, wow. Tracy Gogan says, good point, Jeff. I almost said Tracy Gorgeous. I thought that's what it said. Cynthia says, like the ant people of Hopi lore. I forgot what I was saying, even though I'm sure it was brilliant. Pieces are snapping together so good. Juvenali was in the Navy during the Vietnam War in the South China Seas. Night Signal Watch. Himself and 11 others saw a giant glowing ball come close to our ship. Seconds later, gone. Oh, I'm sorry, Juvenali. It had to be from the backside of Uranus or the front side of Neptune. Couldn't have been from the oceans because Giorgio says they're ETs. And somebody saw one on their ranch and they know it's from Alpha Centauri. So no, it couldn't have been from the seas, even though there's 95% of them that we haven't even looked at. Are you assuming that Earth is a globe? I'm kind of assuming that you're not here listening to the same show I am because they ain't got nothing to do with that. There are many breakaway civilizations. Oh, come on, being now. You changed your name. You know better than that. Giorgio's right. It's all aliens. How do you know it's only 5%? They could be telling lies. How do you know it's aliens? They could be telling lies. How do you know anything that you know? I'm here to make you start asking you questions instead of asking me questions to try to get me off my game because it's not going to work. Even though my groin is strained, I'm light on my feet and I'm the best in the world at what I do. So come on, brah. If you feel you've been mistreated, jump to my chest and be defeated because I'm the best in the world at what I do. I'm Le Champion of biblical interpretation and spiritual revelation. Bring it. But be ready for it to be brought back. That's all I got to say. Oh, this is a good one. Shane says, we all know churchgoers can't count. They think Jesus died and rose 3 days later, but he died on Friday and he was gone by Sunday morning. Jesus died. Jesus gave his weekend for you, but not all of it, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus gave his weekend for you. I've seen one of those as well above her home. Cynthia did see a unidentified flying object. Jeff, there's a well-established underground. Look at the train system. That doesn't mean that we have explored it, or it doesn't mean that people did explore it. Remember it. You're making my point for me. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tracy. Those are beautiful words because they won't let us go there. Absolutely. Speaking of the Antarctic, I think. Let's see what else we got. You'd probably show up if somebody was doing nuke tests in your backyard. That's a good point. That's a good point. People have seen craft come out of mountains. People have seen craft coming out of the oceans, but oh no, they're from the Draco system. No doubt about it. Makes much more sense that inner civilizations would watch our crazy, but after 1945, this is making me want to know the whole truth. That's why I'm here. TT is to get you wanting to know the whole truth, traveling through time to get butt naked with us. Well, they usually are butt naked, right? Maybe in the future they don't have clothes. I don't know. DG, inner earth beings, absolutely. Terry Electra trying to change the future, absolutely. Damn, Jeff, you're making too much logical sense. I know. I have a hard time doing that. I just can't drink the Kool-Aid. Jason's reading a book called The Book of Alien Races. Very interesting. I don't think that it's that much of a stretch to think that a civilization that's 1,000 or especially a million years older than us to have technology to travel the cosmos. Yeah, but why are you assuming that when you see something in the sky? All I'm saying, Jerry, I'm not saying that it couldn't be ETs, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't have to be ETs, and we shouldn't assume that it's ETs, and we shouldn't talk down people who are like, whoa, wait a minute. That's not an ET. We don't know if that's an ET or not. Like Tracy says, they're conferences, like a con job, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry says he thinks it's all the above. Could be, but you've got to prove. You got to show me some proof, Jerry, and all of you that believe it. You got to show me some proof that you've ever seen anything from an extraterrestrial source. I want one shred of proof that it's from an extraterrestrial source. Proof that it ain't from here. And I'll wait because there ain't any yet. Tracy says she's stupid and happy about it too. Yeah, there's about 40,000 plus of us that are just happy to be stupid. And we are wanting to know, just like Cynthia says, and you can call us stupid if you want to. Time is a construct. I agree that it is. Let's see. Empaths unite. That's funny. What else we got? Ooh, I like this. Time all happens at once. It's just sliced like a pizza. I think it's more like all the radio frequencies in the air, because you can tune in or you can tune out. I love this. The basic technique for discovering truth is to reverse common theories or anything to see its opposite idea. That's called dialectic thinking. We did a whole show on it, and you're absolutely right. Everybody knows it's ETs. Oh, really? Well, then that must mean it's not ETs. Let me look at both sides of the story. And I'm telling you, folks, the more I look, the more I consider, I might as well just let the whole cat out of the bag. I'll just let the whole cat out of the bag. There's no proof of extraterrestrials. And I'll almost guarantee you, I am convinced that any being that's doing any malevolent act on Earth is not an extraterrestrial. It's not from anywhere else. I know the common belief in our genre is that there's bad aliens out there and they're coming here to do bad things to us. The nicest thing they do is probe our butts. And some people like to have their butt probed. That's your thing. But let's see. Let me get butt probing out of my mind. Okay, boys will be boys. Okay, no more butt probing. So if they come from your anus to probe your butt, that's the least of the bad things they're doing. Raping women, killing cattle, killing women, abducting people, doing terrible things. And those are ETs. Can I just throw out an idea? Let's just say that I was part of a government cabal that wanted to be able to experiment on humans, take humans to, oh, I don't know, maybe harvest their adrenochrome? What if I wanted to be able to, just snatch people whenever I want? What if I was interested in maybe reducing the population? What if I was interested in creating a fear and guilt control matrix? And what if I didn't want to get caught? What better way to do it than to blame it on the ETs? If you want to terrorize your population, do it and blame it on the ETs. If you want to eat part of your population, do it and blame it on the ETs. If you want to drink the blood of part of your population, do it and blame it on the ETs. It's not me, it's ET. It's ET. If I wanted to do that, I'm going to go this far. There is no malevolent extraterrestrial activity taking place on planet Earth. How do I know that? I know that because I'm convinced that there is a universal law. Here we go. There is a universal law that states that any malevolent species is restricted to its home world. If you're a race and you want to do harm to any other race, you are quarantined to your home planet. Period. You cannot leave your home planet. So, Jeff, you're saying that there's no reptilians harvesting organs and there's no reptilians stealing our organs? That's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. They're not reptilians. If it's happening, it's not reptilians. Are you saying there's no draconians that are taking human slaves from Earth and making them fight in wars on Mars? That's exactly what I'm saying. If anybody's doing that, it's not malevolent extraterrestrials. Period. Because if you're a malevolent race, you're restricted to your own planet. But what are all the things doing all the bad things here? I just told you what they are. All the things doing bad things to people here. Do you really think your government is incapable of doing bad shit to you and blaming it on ETs? Do you really think that other governments are incapable of doing bad shit to you and blaming it on ETs? Do you not think that we might have pissed off some people that live under the sea by dumping all of our crap in their water? Do you not think we might have pissed some people off under the ground? You might not think that there's people beyond this place that see us getting ready to blow stuff up and might say, hey, what's wrong with these fools? If you live next to a neighbor that's blowing stuff up, you go over and say, yo, fool, what's going on? Yeah, it's not ETs. It's ITs. It's interterrestrial beings, not extraterrestrial beings. You have not yet to show me one iota of proof that of an extraterrestrial being. Not one iota of proof of an extraterrestrial being. There's been a whole lot of conditioning that aliens are indeed real, and now sudden soft disclosure. They want us to believe for the possible upcoming show. And if you think there's an alien, you know what? If you don't believe in aliens, there's zero chance that you'll fall for an alien false flag. If you do believe in aliens, the chance that you'll fall for an alien false flag are way, 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 way up there, ladies and gentlemen. Way up there, ladies and gentlemen. And if you stink, you need to go to jeffreydaugherty.com. Get yourself some hero soap. Let freedom clean. Click on that flag logo at jeffreydaugherty.com. You get 20% off of your soap subscriptions. Use that term whistleblower, and they'll also send a free subscription for soap to a deployed U.S. troop overseas. Hero soap. Let freedom clean and make men and women smell great again. Let's make America smell great again, ladies and gentlemen. Hero soap. That's what I'm talking about. We are programmed not to look within. Absolutely, Tracy. Powerful. It is a strong delusion, but not like you're thinking. How can anyone be mad at me? This channel is about unindoctrination. The hard truth must be spoken and heard Absolutely no doubt about it. And by the way, ooh, Tracy just hit the nail on the head. Why do we believe in aliens? Because we believe in the Bible God, who's an alien. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Where are you? You're in the earth. If God came and created the earth, then God came from somewhere else other than the earth. God's a freaking alien. Period. Why do you believe in aliens? Because you are hooked into the Jesus, Father, Holy Ghost blood roast. You're hooked into the fear and guilt, blood magic control matrix. That's why you believe in aliens. That's why you believe in ETs. Because you're hooked and you can't get your mind right. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop trying. What are you talking about, Jeff? Mark Twain said it's easier to fool somebody than to convince them they've been fooled. But I'm not going to stop trying. I'm here trying to do my best to convince you that you've been fooled. And, you know, Tracy, they literally are shiny objects of distraction. Ooh, there's a light up there. Ooh, there's a shiny being on my back 40. They are shiny objects of distraction. No doubt about it. I don't know about Woodward TV. Let them know that they're welcome to come any time. What does this say? If it's the truth, say it. I agree. Thank you very, very much. Very, very much. And you know, these aliens, some people think, oh, they're so good. They're going to help us. You know, they're watching over us. They're going to give us some great stuff. Oh, we need disclosure so we can have free energy. We need disclosure so we can end hunger. We need disclosure so we can end sickness. Why can't we do that? Why do we got to wait for them? And oh, those aliens, they're going to kill you. They're going to eat you. They're going to bugger your butt. They're going to do a lot of bad things. They're strong. They're powerful. Oh, my God, I'm so afraid. Donald Trump, please bring the Space Force to save me. Father, please stop these bad aliens, even though you're a bad alien. Please stop them. You get my point. You get my point. The answers are within you. All of the answers are within you, ladies and gentlemen. We're still waiting on somebody to come save us and still looking for somebody to blame other than us when things don't go right. It's your fault. It's my fault. Why doesn't God do something? You're divine. You're sovereign. You're free. Why don't you do something? Before you complain, you're complaining about yourself. Why won't God do something? Why am I lazy? Why am I stupid? Why don't I want to take control of my own life? That's why. That's why. That's why. That is why. Why blame it on aliens? Because it's easier than blaming it on ourselves. You know, Jason, I just got to be honest. Why do I want to bring on somebody that says they got bad aliens visiting their ranch? That's exactly the agenda I don't want to promote. That's exactly the agenda I don't want to promote. Let's see. What else we got? Ooh, you're the God you're waiting on. You complete you. You complete you. I hope this is a joke. It is a joke either way. I don't know if they know it's a joke. I hope they know it's a joke because it is a joke. Let's see. TT's a goddess having a human experience. Absolutely. Taking my top hat off to you, Jeff. You are your own savior. Damn right I am, and you're your own. You're in God's image and likeness, a creator. Now act like it. Yeah, quit crying and start acting like the God you are. It's just that simple. But see, Tracy, if our DNA has been corrupted by the Anunnaki, if Enlil and Enlil, if they got in and messed up our DNA, poor us, Tracy. We've got to wait for somebody to come and help us out because our DNA is all messed up. It's the same thing as the original sin lie. But all the ancient text, yeah, if Mother Goose and Aesop's fables and Grimm's fairy tales all agree they're still not true. And neither is the lie that you've got original sin or that you've been engineered to be in a debilitated condition. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. And if you don't want yours, it's still for me. I'm divine, I'm sovereign, I'm free. Somebody says that Shane says he thinks that person has a military issue at that ranch. I'll guarantee you what they don't have. They don't have an ET issue at that ranch. I'll guarantee you that. I will guarantee you that. Let's see. There's no reason that you need to do your own miracles. No savior is needed. That's right. What else? Bovine scatology. That's BS, right? Chris C says they are coming. No, they're not. Divine, sovereign, free. Show me proof they're coming. Oh, this is perfect. It is all meant to disempower you. And I'm trying to empower you. I really am. I really am. The God of this Bible is not an alien. Yes, he is an alien. I don't care how. I know it bothers you. But if he made this earth, he ain't from this earth. He's an alien. What did Jesus say? Jesus said, I am not of this world. If you ain't from this world, you're an alien. Don't make me come out there and put some truth on you. Of course, the God of the Bible is an alien by definition. By definition. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this portion of podcast excellence. How do you know there's aliens? Why are you assuming they're aliens? Come on, you're smarter than that. Think it through. Don't assume. Prove. Study. Test. Why do you want to believe the easy lie? Why do you want to believe the easy, scary story? Why won't you think through both sides of the question? Why won't you unindoctrinate yourself? You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. Guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. Be your own guru. I love our trolls. Nate says, this guy wants to be God. Nate, this guy is God. And so are you, dumbass. So are you, dumbass. Why else, Nate, would they tell you that you're filled with original sin and that you've inherited sin from somebody else and you're broke, busted, and disgusted? You need salvation and they've got the only savior. Are you stupid enough to believe that? You don't have original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. You're divine. You're sovereign. You're free. You're a God. Jesus said, you're gods. Don't argue with me. Argue with Jesus, Nate, because you are God, but you're afraid to embrace it and too lazy to embrace it. Jesus Christ will guide your spirit right into a soul farm. Have fun until you realize that you're divine, sovereign, and free. One of these days, you'll get tired of somebody raping your energy 24/7, 365. Until then, I can't help you. Have a good time, Nate. Bring around one more time. You obviously aren't ready yet. And I feel bad for you. I really do. our Gargatron's turning it around saying, stay away from me because now he does the probing if aliens are around. Hey, turning around is fair play. That's what I've heard. Robert's waiting to see the aliens, but they're never coming. Is Jeff a Mormon? No, Jeff's not a Mormon. Have you been here very long? The Mormons think they're gods. No, they really don't. Reboot your rover. They really don't. But that's okay. I'm glad that the trolls are here because they will be exposed to some truth around here. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. You're not filled with original sin. You got the spark of divinity within. We're the last generation of real humans. They say history is written by the winners. The hell with that. We're winners, and we're writing a beautiful, better today and a more powerful tomorrow. I get paid on the minutes that views watch, just like I get paid by the minutes of my mama watching. So I love you both. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Money, money, money. Hell yeah. Thanks for being here. You trollio trolls. I love my trolls because you know what? It smells like money. Oh, boy, if you can't have fun doing it, you shouldn't be doing it. And I am having fun. I owe a special thanks to Tracy Dyer, Oracle, moderator extraordinaire. She's the best in the world at what she does. And we do appreciate you, Tracy. It doesn't get said enough. And I do appreciate all of the other, I was going to say trolls, but Tracy's not a troll. I do appreciate all the other great moderators, too. You're the best, and I couldn't be as free to do what I do without you. And many thanks to the love of my life, the beautiful and talented Cynthia. So nice to have her. And we're just two people changing the world. And she's good cop, I'm bad cop, and together we're going to get it done, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't care if you hate me. I'd prefer that you love me, but it's okay if you hate me because hate is a very strong emotion. It's strong energy. I can take that energy and I can transmute it and use it to make another great edition of Podcast Excellence. If you love me, I can use that energy to make another edition of Podcast Excellence. It's the people that are indifferent that I can't use. So thank you, trolls. I love you, trolls. And thank you, good cop. Not only is she good cop, but she's good looking too. For Cynthia, Tracy, the rest of our moderator team, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, and we give you a corporate salute for being here, seeking after truth. Even you trolls are here seeking after truth. You just don't know it yet. We'll be back again tonight. I got it. I feel it going. I feel it rolling. We'll be back tonight with more Podcast Excellence. Remember, you are a freaking winner. Not someday, but today. And winners, they don't write history. Oh, this is better. Winners don't write history. They change history by changing the present. You want to change your history? Change your present. You want to change your future? Change your present. You're a winner. We're the last generation of real humans. We can do it. But you know what? We got to get busy. So let's do it, cousins. We're in. We make history. Boom. We don't write history. We make history. I'm going to steal that from Tracy Dyer. We don't write history. Some people write history. We make history. I love it. And all we got to do is get busy. So let's go. Let's get busy. I'll see you again later. For Cynthia, Tracy, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. And we do appreciate you. We do respect you. And we'll see you again real soon.